Scott Lowe, owner and operator of DMV Prospects.com. And I'm here for our fourth episode this week, joined by Coach Ben Hammock. Ben has been doing the tour of the Northeast this summer. I think, Ben, I counted, you have been in the Boston area for 17 of the last 24 days. Is that fairly accurate?
That's about right. I think I've been home for maybe 5 or 6 days in the last month. So.
Started with Hockey Night in Boston for the young guys July 7th and concludes today as we're here for the final day of the UMass Lowe Kings of the East Coast Showcase, which has gone really well. But how was Hampton Beach?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was a nice little break. All the Hockey Night in Boston guys were, pushing me to go do something, get away from hockey, not just sit in my hotel.
You look great, by the way, for all the travel. I have to tell
thank
you.
I appreciate that.
But you had a good time there. I mean, that was you had a couple days you stayed over between showcases. Yeah,
I mean, it was nice to kind of get away, especially get to the beach, see something different than what we're used to in the Mid-Atlantic for beaches, and have a nice seafood dinner and, a few pops and, just see the sights.
And Ubered home, correct?
Exactly.
All right, just checking. By my count, you've been here July 7th to the 11th, 18th to the 21st, 24th to the 28th with the 2 days you stayed over in between, and then July 30th to August 1st. I think I've been here all of those dates except for the in-between dates, so I feel your pain a little bit.
Yep. Yeah.
How have things gone? I mean, let's talk about our first year back in Hockey Night in Boston in over 10 years. The young guys did well. The older guys competed. We had some all-tournament players, some all-stars. Just being back for the first time in a long time, how did it go?
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're looking at success with, in the way we talk about it, with the number of players that get talked to by coaches, the interest that we see with the scouts that are at Hockey Night in Boston that rank our players to get to the All-Star game, all that sort of stuff, which is what we're here for. The wins and losses are nice and make things more fun, but for the kids to be able to be seen and be pushed to move on to those higher levels. At junior high we had 5 kids that made the All-Stars, sophomore 4, and then 2 at majors, with one of those being an all-tournament player as one of the top defensemen. And then on top of all that, so 11 guys have played in the All-Star games. On top of all that, the measure of success for me from the administrative side is the Hockey Night in Boston guys coming back to me and saying, we want more. Anytime a client or a partner or whatever it is says, we want more, you're obviously doing something right.
And along the way with Hockey Night in Boston, also great parent feedback, great player feedback. The kids all had a blast. I mean, even our major team, which opened up with a really good game, a 1-1 tie, and then played 2 of the top teams in the tournament really closely. Didn't win, but very competitive and just nothing but thank yous and great feedback from the participants as well.
Yeah, so for the younger kids, it's obviously a little bit different than 17, 18, 19-year-olds that are, just leaving high school or about to leave high school. The communication level is different. So for the junior high and sophomore, it kind of became a little bit of a joke, but I stood out of the locker room after the final game, and every single guy that came out, I shook their hand, thanked them for coming, and asked them for a little bit of feedback, and would they do it again next year. For the junior high kids, would they want to play on the sophomore team next year? And bar none, the answer was yes across the board. And then for the older guys, obviously being more into, email and social media, more of the grown-up, quote-unquote, type of forms of communication, the feedback that we got from them, especially across social media, and how much fun they had and how the process of Hockey Night in Boston opened their eyes to what's available in the Northeast or in New England. It's been overwhelming, to be honest.
And it fits right into what I've been trying to do with DMV over the last few years. I told these kids here at Lowe yesterday that when I started this, the goal was truly to get a representative group of the best players, the most committed players in our area to come to these different tournaments. And, the great thing about the junior high is you don't have kids, you have some kids who haven't committed to hockey yet, right? They know they're good. They're A-level players. They're dominating A-level. Maybe they don't have the money to play AAA, or it's too far away or whatever. And they come here and they're like, wow, we're AAA players, but we're playing on an A team. And now all of a sudden this whole world of opportunity, sorry, mom and dad, opens, and these kids are like, wow, we can do this. Maybe I do want to play in college. And, we cross political borders. You got kids from different clubs that are rivals all year playing together and becoming buddies within 4 days. And to me, that's the best part of all of it.
Well, and I think the other big thing is when you talk about the hockey pyramid, the growth and development pyramid, you should be bigger at the base, right? You should be bigger. The numbers should be bigger. The talent level should be better, quite honestly, at the lower age groups. So for junior high, ultimately our goal is, and what I talk with the Hockey Night in Boston administrators about, is to be able to do eventually maybe a Maryland and Virginia, 2 teams. Because we have those numbers at those younger age levels, and the more kids at that age that we can keep involved in quote-unquote elite hockey or showcases or whatever, that's more kids that we keep involved at the midget level or the junior level that continue to push because they've learned that doors, that's an option for them.
We'll get more into Hockey Night in Boston later when we kind of review the summer, but I wanted to introduce a first-time co-host who will be with us many more times, we hope, Anthony Matarazzo. That's the last time he will be called Anthony Matarazzo on this show, better known as Coach Mazzo. And I figured out why you're Coach Mazzo when I hear you try to pronounce everybody else's names and screw them up.
Oh,
so now you just figured out that, hey, just call me Mazzo.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible how much I screw up people's names. But good to be here. I'm excited to be here. Excited to sit next to Ben. Hockey Night in Boston's a good thing, and to watch DMV grow, especially in the prep school ranks, to get kids that actually commit to school and hockey. Being student athletes. That's great to see.
You were with us at the beginning this summer with the Hockey Night in Boston tryouts. You were there, you saw those kids, and now you're here at the end.
Yep.
You've been doing your own thing this summer, running all the hockey stuff you run in New Jersey.
Yep.
You've become a part of DMV just because of your interest in hockey in the Mid-Atlantic region and helping kids grow opportunities. But just, you come to Lowell and we've got a really high-end group of players here that really, I think we beat one of the considered the top 2 teams in this tournament.
Yeah.
And you saw us at the beginning with the younger kids. Just, what do you think about what you're seeing from what we're trying to accomplish here?
Oh, I absolutely love what I'm seeing through it all. Let's start with the junior high group. The junior high group from A, AA, and you said it, from backgrounds of anywhere, whether it be distance, whether it be financial situation, to be able to compete at the AAA level. But the biggest thing for me always when I watch junior high kids and I talk to parents about hockey, it comes down to education. Prep school is a great avenue for education. It's a great avenue for hockey. And when you look and you put the price together, when you look at what private school is that you're sending your kid to, and you put AAA cost, what it's coming down to, and you get a number that's close to $26,000, and then you're sitting there like, well, prep school, we might be able to get financial aid at prep school. We could push it educationally. And now you're setting yourself up for so much more when it comes to college and so much more options when it comes to college. So to have that experience, to talk to the junior high kids, to put it in their heads, hey, you're going into freshman year in your high school, that needs to be the best year of your grades and get your GPA right up there, get to a 4.0. And to kind of take their minds and put it for school and hockey, be a student athlete. So to see it now full circle when we deal with the U18 players, the U20 players, the U21 players, well, we had Bowden, right, come and approach us this weekend to talk about some of our players, and one of the biggest things that kept coming up was GPA. Well, he's got to get his scores up. Well, he's got to get his GPA up, and you're looking at 01s and 2000s, and you're saying, well, I'm sorry, the time you can't get it up. You're not in high school anymore.
Right.
These are kids that just can't get that GPA up. So for those kids, it's a wake up call, and I'm always interested when you see the U20 kids look at the junior high kids and be able to say, hey, make sure you do this. I didn't listen. It was too late, and to get that reality. And now a lot of those kids now in UMass Lowell are battling it out for spots in some of these colleges and trying to get their own way of committing.
And one of the key points we make when we speak to kids is the academic side. It's easy for everyone to say, focus on school, get a better job, have a better life, all that stuff. But the reality is so many people put so much money into youth athletics and sports with their kids in hopes of getting a scholarship through athletics, when if they would spend a fraction of that money on tutors and helping their kids academically, there's a ton more money for kids out there who are really good students and really good athletes. And hockey can be a way to get you into school, the school that you want to be. Academics can help you save a lot of money. But if you're a great hockey player and great in school, it's easy. You can kind of go where you want. You have tons of options. But maybe you're a pretty good hockey player and a great student. You might get a D3 opportunity at a NESCAC school, and maybe you're a late bloomer. They put you on a roster. You don't play for a couple years, and then you have a nice little college hockey career. So academics can not only save you a lot of money, but can give a hockey player a chance who maybe is a fringe player.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and you see that even at the Division I level when you talk about Harvard, Yale, all the Ivy Leagues, pretty much the whole ECAC. Grades are very important for these kids, and some of them set themselves up very, very well for a very good future. And you put yourself into a bigger pool to be recruited from, which is the number one thing.
So a little bit of background on you now that we've heard you talk.
Yeah.
Do these guys, these people listening, do they know who you are? Right now, you're kind of running the Mercer Chiefs midget program.
Yeah, I run the 16U National and the 16U American program there under Rob Broderick, and it's going really well. I absolutely love it. Believe it or not, I really, really, really wanted the 16U American program. It's one of my favorite programs to kind of run. It's a lot of kids coming from AA that are jumping in first-time AAA players, and a lot of development and a lot that I can teach. So I'm really excited to get that started.
And that's part of our mission too, and especially through Hockey Night in Boston and the various showcases, we give some of those kids who may be AAA players who don't know it yet a taste of that, or maybe they're going to be AA players, but they want to try to play in college, which that's a perfectly fine route as well, but we give them some opportunities spring and summer to get a taste of that and to get some of the exposure that maybe they don't get because they don't travel as much as the AAA kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for what you guys are doing in DMV, like I said, from the junior high perspective, watching all those kids and how they took off under Ben, even in the sophomore group and how some of them moved on to AAA, and we saw what they could do at that level. I think it's a huge testament. Owen Fleming, another one I know in DMV, just throwing my name out, like he was really good in tryouts, strong AA player, and has that potential to step foot in AAA, and, I'm wondering to see what's next.
Owen's one of 7 or 8 kids from our area who are going to test the AAA waters this year, playing for the Northeast General split season teams.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're going to go up north and play some early season showcases and then come back home and play for their local AA teams still, but they're going to get more of a chance to play and try to think and react at that higher level.
And it's great to see that these opportunities are coming for these kids. They work hard, and to see them getting marketed and see them actually being pushed and developed is always a great.
And a little bit. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, we've also had the chance now to kind of preview some of Anthony's teams for this season with some of the guys, with Chris Becky and Danny Caputo and Casey Freeman that played for us at Hockey Night in Boston. And it's going to be fun. For me, it's going to be fun to watch how those guys develop now, having coached them and given Mazzo some feedback on those players. It'll be interesting to see what he's capable of doing with them, which I know is taking them as far as they want to go on the game. But it's neat to be able to have that crossover and have that communication, have that relationship where we can see his players, he can see our players, and we can all work together for what's best for those kids.
And your background a little bit more. You've got junior coaching experience at the USPHL Premier level,
yes.
But now you were with Jersey Shore.
Yep.
You also were 18U
yes.
at Jersey Shore.
Yep.
So you've helped quite a few kids, move to that level or beyond. Also at the higher level age, the older kids, and then in your new role with Mercer, you're part of that Team Maryland Black Bear organization where you're doing some scouting for the NAHL team and the Youngstown Phantoms of the USHL, and just tell us a little bit about that process and about how you've been involved with that.
So actually, it's been a really fun process. We took it from the start of camp with the Maryland team in June, and going through that because I signed on late. When I started in June and went through some of the kids, we had I think 60 something kids in our first camp, and literally it was every kid got seen, every kid had an evaluation written down by coaching staffs, and we went through it, and a lot of it, I speak it. I go into halftime speeches and I talk to our teams about it all the time. A lot of it is a lot of kids bank on potential. I have potential, and a lot of it is, well, are you ready now? And that's a very, very, very big statement. Is are you ready now? Are you physically ready now? Are you in shape now? Are you in the best shape? And a lot of these kids come in and it's 120 pounds, 140 pounds, and they do have a lot of potential. They do have high skill, but are they dedicated on the other stuff? And those are little details, and not to get too involved with how everything goes on in the back rooms when we talk about